never met your parents, not even your mother, but let's see where this leads. What should we do tonight?
Hello, welcome, get cozy, curl up with some hot tea or chocolate, and allow me to waltz you into the ballroom of my 2022 April bullet journal setup. So for this month, to continue with my overall fairy tale theme for this year, I decided to go with a Sleeping Beauty theme just because the palette appears very soft and sweet, and it sort of reminds me of a box of jewels with shades of ruby and amethyst and emerald swirling between rose petals and hawthorn berries. So to start off, I'm just sketching out a window in the middle of the page, which is veiled in a garland of blushing flower buds. And these are just going to be mushrooming everywhere like dropped buttons in a jar. And it's probably just me, but I love when spring flowers come not as single individuals or married couples, but rather in hundreds and hundreds like an intense floral flash mob. Anyway, allow me to serenade your ears with some intense stabbing sounds. This is basically going to be the exterior of a window in the castle, so this first page is going to be brimming with an abundance of flowers, and then I'll be cutting it out so that it lies over the next page, if that makes any sense. And here I'm just coloring in the brickwork with different shades of brown, and then adding some leaves and thin vines before cutting the middle part out. Once that's done, I'm just sketching out the actual window, which is going to go behind it, and to draw this, I'm basically just trying to use the overall shape from the page in front to map out roughly where the lines should go, and then I'm just filling it in with mini archways and drawing some curved lines to create a more ornate and elegant appearance. And I do realize it looks a bit like a church, but I find church architecture and cathedrals really beautiful and grand, and it does sort of remind me of a medieval castle, I think. As for the colors, I really wanted it to have that elaborate, opulent atmosphere, so I planned to make it this deep aureate, but it kind of just turned light brown like a bruised avocado or a bagel, so I scrapped that idea and decided to go over it with a darker shade of brown. I also probably should have colored this in before cutting it out, but sadly that only occurred to me after I had done the deed. Also, I'm so sorry about the lighting. I believe the sun was feeling very blue and decided to weep directly onto the window, which then squeezed all of the light out of lighting, so I was left with ing. Anyway, after this, I thought I could do with some additional details, so I decided to add a final layer at the back with these billowing red curtains. So I just sketched it out, colored it in, and then added this diamond grid at the back so that it will show through on the cover page. Moving on to the left side, I'm just writing April and then the quote, "They say if you dream a thing more than once, it's sure to come true." Underneath it, I just quickly sketched out this bouquet of flowers and then colored it in with various shades of pink, brown, and green. Flipping over to the next page, this is going to be my calendar spread. So I've just created the grids as well as the different dates so that on the right side I can include a little illustration. For this month, since it's all about spring, I decided to draw this arrangement of various flowers, and then because I'm pretty sure at least one bird appeared in the movie, I decided to also include a little hummingbird in the top right corner. Now I'm just coloring in all of these flowers, starting with the rose. I honestly think roses are such beautiful flowers. I love how their petals hug around the center, almost like a mini cinnamon roll. Also, I just realized how strikingly similar rose petals look in comparison to bacon. They're practically twins. I mean, if someone handed me a bacon bouquet, I probably would not be able to tell the difference until I smelled it. Anyway, I'm just continuing to color all of the other flowers. And I draw flowers in my spreads so many times that I suppose when I have children I'll name them all after flowers. Rose and jasmine and daisy, and my youngest, manufactured, nicknamed as synthetic. Or maybe periwinkle, like periwinkle but with a T. Also, if the English language was logical, lackadaisical would have had something to do with the shortage of flowers. Anyway, I'm just adding some leaves now and coloring in the dates to complete the spread. Moving on to the next page, this is going to be my book and gratitude spread. Because I was running low on time, I decided to just do a very quick sketch of some tulips in between the two pages. I colored them each a different color and then moved on to the grass and leaves. This is a very simple drawing, but I actually like the minimal design a lot better than I'd anticipated, and I think it works really well with this month's color palette. I also decided to add these groups of berries and tiny flower buds in various places just to fill up the space and make it a little more floral. Then I just outlined both sides with this gold pen and wrote books on the left page and gratitude on the right side. And then this page is done. Finally, moving on to my weeklies, I wanted to continue with what I did last month by creating cutouts for all 3 pages so that all of my weeklies are grouped together in a mini booklet, because I found that it actually helped me a lot and I was able to use my weeklies a lot more. So for April, I decided to draw these small flowers that would then layer on top of one another. On the first page, I'm just drawing a vine filled with multiple flowers and leaves on the bottom, and then I'm just coloring it in and cutting it out. For the next page, I'm doing something similar, but I want to leave some space in the middle for the final page where I'm going to draw another small hummingbird. So I'm coloring all of the flowers with lighter pinks for the base, and then building on top of that with darker colors as well as some browns, oranges, and yellows. After finishing my illustrations, I just cut the final page out. And for the days of the week, I went with simple lettering, and on the final page, I decided to turn it into a notes/to-do list page. Then I went back and wrote down all of the dates below each weekday and colored them in light pink to give these spreads some more color. Finally, on the last to-do list page, I decided to add a pink row after every other line as I did last month, just to bring all of the colors together. Here is the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.